We're going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. There's going to be a little bit of a delay, but while we do that, let's see here. I don't know if I can do this. I'm going to introduce our two commentators. We have Dank Meats and we have Squealer, who are both really well versed in the cave. And guys, I'm just going to hand it off. Go for it.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Dank Meats.
What's up, Dank?
Kicking it here with my friend Squealer. We're gonna be your guides through the cave this evening or morning. And yeah. So the ancient cave is like basically a JRPG roguelike. So, you got all kinds of elements of JRPGs and then a bunch of randomly generated stuff. So none of these guys are actually going through the same cave right now. And it's gonna be interesting to see what gets thrown at each of the runners. But yeah, so Squealer, why don't you talk a little bit about what these people are going to be doing early on here? What they're going to be looking for.
I want to talk about the fact that I'm commentating again with his dankness. Always entertaining and always kind of interested to see what level of dankness we're going to get. I heard that you slept on Tuesday so that you're well rested for this.
Yeah, I got my sleep in for the week, so we should be at least a moderate level of dankness for this.
So we just now started. I'm just curious, for those in chat, are you just here for fun, or is there somebody specific you're rooting for? We're a great little community, and we support each other, but I know everybody's got their favorites. Are you rooting for someone specifically today? Now, I was thinking as a commentator, I might be rooting for Hab because he's an interesting fella.
I don't know if I can get behind anyone that likes Iris% for fun, to be honest, but I respect it.
So early on here, you can see that almost everyone is opening chests early. And as we go through the cave, the items do change. You start getting better items the deeper you get into the cave. So early on, there are a lot of cheap items that aren't going to help you very much. But in some circumstances, there are things that are going to help you immediately get off to a great start that can carry you through.
Yeah, one of the things that's really different from this style tournament or a marathon in general from a regular any percent run is that since you are in a marathon and you're not going to just be resetting for 8 hours, you definitely want to take it safe. So normally you'd skip most of these early chests and monsters if you're trying to go for a good time or something, but since these people want to make sure they get through to the end in one run and the cave is pretty hard, they're going to be doing a lot of safety strats. So you see people fighting like eagles and buffaloes, for example. They're just trying to gain some experience. They're opening a lot of chests so they can have a lot of options to like refill their health and magic and get some defense and attack and all that stuff. So definitely going to be taking it a lot slower than a speed run if you're familiar with the speed run at all.
Yeah, and like you said, because they've got that 2-hour time limit, they're going to be doing some safety strats. Now, that could work into the strategy later on if you need to bail. If you're doing a bunch of safety strats early, that's not going to leave you much time if something terrible happens or you need to just get the heck out of there.
Yeah, if you take a long time to get to like blue mimics or ninja floors where you have a decent chance at dying if you have to fight them, it could ruin your entire marathon chances, because it's very unlikely that, say you take 45 minutes to get to ninjas, that you're gonna be able to get to the jelly if you die there. So there's definitely some downsides to going slow and taking it safe as well, because sometimes the cave, since it's a roguelike and there's a lot of randomness involved, it definitely can just throw impossible situations at you. And definitely need to be prepared to try and work around those as well.
Now, this is a team effort. There are a lot of different efforts going into making this happen today, and we'll be thanking some of those people as we go along. But let me kind of preemptively thank some of our community members who are in chat who are going to help us field questions. Anytime anybody has any questions or wants to know kind of what's going on here, feel free to ask in chat. And if we don't see it or if we can't address it, we'll try to get to as many as we can. But we've got our friends here in chat who are going to help us out.
All right, so to talk a little bit about one of the things that makes this a pretty fun game in general is the movement. As you can see on the screens, everybody's kind of like moving around on these tiles, and monsters only move when you do, and they all have their own specific movement patterns. So getting around some of these floors is going to actually be more art than science, I would say. And you can really see some high level strats sometimes if you really know all the monster movement in the game and stuff. So hopefully we'll be seeing some like 50-50s on ninjas or some manipulating of stuff around bushes and stuff.
And if I'm not mistaken, chat, you can help us out too as we're trying to confirm what people have. I think I saw Mike might get both Champion and a Fatal Pick. Of course, Champion, for those of you who know, is one of the best heals in the game, relatively cheap, heals your whole party a significant amount. And Fatal Pick is one of the few instant death weapons that you can find in the cave, although it is not one of the ones that you can earn a bonus with. And as you can see, he did not immediately equip it anyway.
Yeah, so there are weapons in this game. We call them deadlies. There's a deadly rod, a deadly sword, and a fatal pick, and they have a very high chance of instantly killing most enemies in the game. So it makes the cave a lot easier because eventually enemies get so strong that killing them without instant death is going to take a lot of time. So every one of these runners right here is definitely hoping that they find a deadly item of some kind.
And as you can see on Mike's stream, he's already to floor 11. So for the next 3 floors, he's going to be searching for what some of the people in my stream are calling cubes now. But these are cores, which provide a lot of experience. And if you're speedrunning right, you're essentially looking for cores as almost your sole source of experience. Of course, we've got 2 hours and safety strats, but still those cores are going to play a huge role.
Yeah, so if you're unfamiliar with this game, but you're familiar with that one Dragon RPG, I always forget what it's called, Dragon Quest, Dragon Warrior, one of those games. It's like the metal slimes from those games. Shadows there, I see him fuming. But yeah, so basically it's like the metal slimes. They're enemies that are kind of hard to kill because they run really easily, but if they stay and you kill them, they give you a lot of experience. So it's definitely a way to either get ahead early or catch up if you're behind. And they only appear on certain floors, so you definitely want to, in a marathon setting, check all of the floors that cores appear on.
And as you can see there, Mike did not have a spell to kill them with, which is the easiest way to kill the ones that remain. But because his very first character did a critical attack, that killed it. And that's the second best way, but you can never count on getting a crit.
Yeah, it's not only do they have like a 75% chance to run, but they also resist physical damage to an insane degree, but for some reason are so weak to magic that literally any spellcast will kill any core in the game. So the hopeful strategy is to have magic ready when you fight them.
Now we see Traffic there. It looked like he got a core kill, but one of his characters died. So only the characters that remain standing got the experience. So he's going to be looking to get more to get Maxim back up with the others.
Another interesting mechanic of this game that you'll start seeing use of as we get along, and definitely on the jelly, is this game has HP and MP like most standard JRPGs, but then it also has another mechanic called IP, which stands for like Ikari points or something. Basically, it's like rage points. And when you take damage, your rage bar fills up, and the more rage you have, you can use special abilities that come on your items. So finding items with good abilities is really, really important to getting through the cave, and maintaining your IP points to a good level, or not letting someone die, because when you die, you lose them all. Maintaining your IP points is very, very essential for getting through the cave.
And I think I saw Driz get a red core there. So I've seen at least 3 of our runners so far get a red core, which is always a good way to have a good start with an early boost there to your attributes. Now, have you seen anybody find any blue chest yet?
I haven't noticed any, but I did just see Eli get a deadly sword. So let's see if he equips it right away, because that would be some points if he doesn't uncurse it. I personally would recommend against equipping a deadly sword immediately, but
Right, and it sounded like even if you don't equip a deadly sword immediately, if then later on you do find the deadly rod and immediately equip that, you still get the 5.
yeah, and that's definitely better. So the deadly sword has the same kill chance as the deadly rod, but the deadly sword goes on a very slow character, and the deadly rod goes on your fastest character. So putting instant death on someone that can go before enemies is definitely smarter than putting it on someone that goes after enemies.
Okay, so clearly I was wrong on Mike because he just found champion. So I know at least 2 of our runners now have champion. And thanks to Eve for answering one of the questions already in chat. Somebody asked if it was the good deadly sword. We know that in the first 20 floors, that
Yeah,
the deadly sword
20.
is always the quote unquote good deadly sword.
Yeah, so there's 2 deadly swords. One's like fake, basically. The good one has a certain description, so you can, if you pick it up later, you can still determine if it's the good one or not. But the first 20 floors give you the good deadly sword, and then after that, there's a chance that the deadly sword is bad, which means it has no instant death on it, and it's still cursed, so you can't unequip it without a curse lifter, and it's just all bad. If you put that one on, I'm sorry for your run.
Yeah. And Driz got champion too, so I believe at least 3 of our owners already have what I consider to be the best group heal in the game with champion. So I think most of our runners here are off to a good start, and I haven't noticed if anyone did not get any cores, which really is going to slow them down as they try to get some early levels just to survive.
Yeah, champion is so good. Basically, at any level, you can cast it a single cast and it heals your whole party to full. Like eventually at higher levels, like Decker might not get full healed from it and stuff, but in general, it's an amazing spell. So all these people having it, it's going to be a huge sigh of relief for them to get farther in the cave. One of the problems with getting deep in the cave in this game is if you don't find a source of constant healing, you kind of get withered down over the course of multiple battles, and if you can't heal that up, you're just going to die and not have a good time. So finding champion for this many people is a good start.
Now, of our runners today, I think the one that I knew the least is Driz T. What country is he representing?
I think he's from Antarctica.
Oh, really? Cool. So our only Antarctic runner, and I believe we've got 2 representing Germany and 2 USA.
Something like that.
And then Driz, I don't know honestly how much experience he has with the game, but he committed one of the worst acts of bad luck that you can, and that he did a practice run the day before his race and had a really good run. So we'll see if that works against him, because we know that bad luck is real.
Yeah, and by the law of averages, when you get really good luck, the next run's going to be really bad luck. So.
Yeah, Denk and I both were educated in US, so we're pretty much experts.
Yeah, anything about math, I'll tell you how to get it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So Mike just got a bolt shield, which means he got a blue chest item. There are red chests and blue chests in the cave. Red chests are typically your regular items throughout the game. They get the more floors you go down, the stronger the red chests have a chance of spawning items and stuff. But the blue chests can spawn only good items for the most part, and they can appear on any floor. And in the main game, you can go into the cave, and when you open red chests, you can't take the red chest items back out with you, but you can take the blue chest items back out with you.
Now,
So,
I hadn't noticed Ellie find anything of importance yet, but he did just find a rally. So if he's one of the ones that does not have champion and did not get any cores yet, that at least gives him a little something to work with. And there's another deadly sword.
he's definitely not putting. Ooh, but he got a fatal pick.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so rally is a very good spell. It's basically very inefficient, but it does revive. It's one of the 2 revive spells you can get. So finding one of those is very, very nice, because reviving without one of those 2 spells, you're relying on a limited number of consumables. So
Let me butt in here. We got Hab, bottom middle, working on some ammonites and their very naughty tentacles.
yeah,
But
these
he's trying to
enemies
get
are
to a
not
blue chest. So there's another blue. Ruse armor for Ellie. Does he have a lady?
Yes, yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, there's some items that only girls can equip in this, and when you run without a girl, you usually find all of the girl-only items. So Eli knew ahead of time to bring Tia.
And Hab ripped him apart with a firestorm. He knew he had that going on. His only hope was that he didn't get killed by Tentacle, and he made it through. Got a sleep ball, and then what was in the blue chest? Did he open that yet?
Not yet.
Yeah, and Zap. So Ellie's kind of on a roll here too. Now going
Immediately going to fight undead too. So Zap's a holy spell. He picks it up. He sees zombies. He kills them.
So that
Oh,
makes
he's
me
not
wonder
using
if
it, though.
maybe he didn't get the cores. There's a gold eye bonus for Hab. Ding, 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 ding. You might want to reference our point sheet as we're going through the.
Yeah, the gold eye is a like 5 or 10 point bonus, so he really got lucky right there. And then he providenced out for the extra point. So providence is the only way to escape the cave, and he used it right there as soon as he found the gold eye. And like I said about the blue chests earlier, they're the only items you can bring back into the cave. So his entire inventory just reset, but he has that gold eye still because it came out of a blue chest.
And he
So
knew his time left. He was only 17 minutes in.
Yeah, so Hobbs actually looking really good right now.
But do we trust him? That's a no. All right. So looking forward, you had pointed out Mike found the bolt shield. Let's talk briefly about what kind of ramifications that has for him over the rest of his run.
Yeah, the bolt shield is not only one of the highest defense shields in the game that you can put on your tanks, but it also reduces lightning damage that you take by a significant amount. So, you know, it just so happens one of the most deadly enemies in the cave is an archfiend that casts thunder, and having a resistance to that is pretty important. Hopefully you don't have to fight him at all, but if you do, bolt shield will definitely help in that scenario.
And then kind of going back to Hab's find of gold eye, you see that one of the bonuses is if you get stuck having to fight and get through blue mimics, one of the best ways of defeating an entire party of them is with gold eye. Its IP is Stardust Blow, and as long as it's on like Decker, you can wipe the entire party, assuming you make it through the. So, like you said, he's in a good position. We'll see how he does.
Yeah, the Gold Eyes IP ability is one of the better IPs in the entire cave. It's not insane for the jelly or anything, but getting to the jelly, it can do a lot of damage to a lot of scary things. So it's pretty good.
That's right, Marty. So even if you use to get that bonus points for that, you do get to retain the blue chest you had found to that point and use them in your second entry.
Yeah, once you providence out with a blue chest, it's flagged as yours basically forever. So you can die with that item in another run, and then you'll still have it. So when he providenced immediately, he now has that gold eye for the rest of the run, no
Yep.
matter how many times he dies.
And I
So
didn't
he-
notice
he's
this,
set.
but sorry, I didn't notice, but Rocket pointed out that Trav got a deadly rod, and I assume immediately equipped it, so that was probably a bonus there for him. And I see his point totals up to 50.
Assuming he doesn't uncurse it at some point. The deadly rod is one of the items that if you do uncurse it, it has a great ability for fighting the jelly. So, you know, if you're not going to kill the jelly without uncursing it, it's probably best to just uncurse it. So we'll see where he gets to when he gets to the jelly.
All right, so chat, help me out on this one. Did Driz pop Providence?
I assume he did because we went into a party room and I don't think he died. Pretty sure he just providenced out, so he gets those points.
Okay. And I'm just curious, I didn't notice him having anything to take with him. It just happened to be a good idea, maybe strategically, for him to get the heck out of there. And there's Ice Valk.
Yeah, so the damaging spells in this game come in basically 3 different tiers. There's all the types of elements that come in tier 1, 2, and 3. And for the jelly, you want at least a tier 3 generally to use with your magic caster. And Ice Valk is probably the second best one you can find next to Thunder. So that's definitely a good find, especially early.
Okay, the chat saying when Driz providenced, he had a dark mirror, and since he hadn't uncursed it, he did get to bring it back with him into the second entry.
Dark Mirror is another one of those really good items. It's another shield that gives a lot of defense, and also provides some nice little protection against either death or shadow. I can't remember which one's which because I am bad, but you probably know, Squealer.
Now, when the heats got announced, this one to me looked like perhaps the best one of the 4. Mike, and Travic, they're not brand new, but considering how long some of us have been around, they're relatively new, but they've achieved a lot of success pretty quickly. I know that Travic earlier this year, I think, had 2 sub-1 any percent runs in one, and Mike has got the strats. He also has his sub-1, and if you're interested in ever speedrunning the cave any percent, you might want to check out Mike's VODs or his current video that's up on Speedrun to see how he does it.
So up in the top right, you can see Travic's fighting more cores. He's now on the second set of cores where blue cores spawn, and they are, you know, the same thing. Tons of experience, but he's not seeming to get any to stay. Hopefully he can get some, though. They're a lot of experience, and it's pretty good to get him here because there is some scary stuff coming up in the next 10 to 20 floors that hopefully he can be tanky enough for.
Yeah, chat's reacting to the fact that Ellie had got into a bee's nest there. It looked like maybe a treasure room or just a really packed enemy room full of bees. He had a couple people die, but that rally came in handy big time right there.
Well, he got another deadly sword just now, too. So I think if Eli gets 10 deadly swords by the end of this, can we just declare him the winner? I feel like that's probably fair, right?
Deadly sword percent?
Yeah.
Welcome, boss wife Carolyn. So, probably, I'm sure this is just coincidence, but never say Iris percent again is a reference to one of our runners today who's a big fan of Iris percent. And Iris percent is a different kind of run than our other runs. How can I talk about it without putting it down?
I don't know if that's possible, to be honest. So what Iris percent is There's iris items in the cave. There's 9 of them, and then you get another one from the jelly. So there's 10 in total. And they are very rare, and iris percent is to collect all of them. And the world record is like over 10 hours. And since there's so much RNG already involved in this,
I'm sorry, I'm watching Mike. He's
Oh,
going
yeah,
for the evil fish charm fruit bonus.
ooh, yeah, yikes.
Yeah.
Alright.
He's
Oh, he
okay.
got
So he's
it.
got
Charm fruit.
it. Woo!
Anyway,
Go
that's enough.
low.
It's basically like the worst thing to ever happen to speedrunning, so that's all you really need to know. So that's where that point incentive came from.
Hey, but if you like to hang out for like 12 hours at a time and chat about nothing, iris percent is your dealio.
It's true.
Ooh,
And there's
ice ring
RNG
for Driz.
involved that theoretically, if you've never ran the game before, you can still get world record your first try. So, I mean, I don't know if that makes it free or not. Probably not, but you can try still, I guess.
More bees harassing poor Ellie, but he's getting through it.
Really not fun because they're usually almost always faster than everybody in your party, and they can do party-wide attacks that will not tickle. We'll just say that. So we got Eli next to some evil fish right here too. It doesn't look like he's going for the incentive though. Evil fish are nasty enemies. They almost always attack all your party members, and they do a lot of damage. So if you accidentally run into one of them, it's more than half the time it's usually a party wipe. So
Hello there to our viewer Jenkar. Question about how we get to this mode. This is the ancient cave, which you can access in the main quest, but this is really gift mode. After you've beaten the main quest twice in regular mode and retry mode, you unlock gift mode. Now you say, well, why do you need that if it's available in the main quest? It's because then you get to bring any party combination that you want, and it's essentially a game that kind of stands on its own. Like someone pointed out, you can just do it with a Game Genie code, or if you're on a cart and don't have Game Genie, you can just play through the main quest and you get here.
okay, so we got a trick ring on Drist. Is that what I'm hearing?
Wow.
So that's one of the best items in the entire game.
Yep.
Period. Trick is a spell that increases. You can cast it on everyone, and it increases your attack by 20%. So it's amazing for the jelly. But Trick Ring doubles that power. So it's like doing a 40% attack boost on your entire team.
Yep.
And the jelly, I guess we didn't really talk about this yet, but the jelly, you only have 3 turns to kill the jelly at the end. So you need to do a lot of damage in 3 turns. He has about 10,000 HP. And Trick Ring giving you that attack boost is huge. So, yeah, he's probably really happy.
Yeah, so right now, the issue with the people that have used, we've got 2 now who did the Providence, their eye is going to be on the timer, because if they get some bad luck in floor layouts and enemy combinations, then they're going to be maybe pressing up against that 2-hour mark. We'll see how they do.
Yeah, so the any percent run is a lot faster than 2 hours generally after you have a little bit of experience in the cave. And 2 hours is generally pretty easy most of the time to get to the jelly, unless you just get, blocked super hard by some really, really bad RNG. But since they providenced out, they are basically starting again from fresh with maybe 1 or 2 items total that they brought out with them. And they basically cut like 20 minutes off their run. So they have to get to the end now in an hour and 40. 99 floors. So
3 green cores for Travik.
Yeah, green cores are the probably the most important cores in the cave, I would say, because they come right before ninjas. And I think you're an expert on ninjutsu, so if you want to talk about that, Squidward,
yeah, let's see if he actually runs into a situation where he has to face one, and we'll talk about it. There's an Earth Jewel for Hab, another blue chest, but not a very good one.
Earth Jewels not useless, but pretty much useless. It was a couple stats, so I mean, you still want to put it on if you find it, but the IP is not the best. It's not the worst. It's not catfish tool, but it's not the best.
Yep. All right, so we got Hab tracking down a sand gorm here, so he must be going for the earth fruit.
So,
Yep.
DS for Trav, is that Dragon Spear? Is that what you're saying, Tyler? Because if you got Dragon Spear, that's one of the best items in the cave also.
Oh, another deadly sword.
Oh,
So
no, it's
Hab-
okay.
So let me get into Hab brought in Gusto, which is the highest bonus point getting capsule monster you can bring in. And what he's going for here in fighting purposely, the sand gorm is looking for the earth fruit drop. The earth fruit is important to him because if he can feed his capsule monster all the way to the 4th form, he can use that earth fruit to master form his capsule, which is yet another bonus. The question is, because he had Providenced out, is he going to have time to do all that feeding later on?
So capsule monsters are actually, I think, a cool part of this game. It's kind of like having a little Pokemon with you in your party. If it dies, it's just there every time. It just comes back next battle. You can't control it, so you kind of choose the one that does the things that you want, and then it just kind of goes on its own. There's some that are good for getting to the jelly. There are some that are good for killing the jelly. There's some that are completely useless that some people here brought. Like in the top right, you see Travic is feeding Gusto, who is arguably the worst capsule monster in the entire game, but we give bonus points for it. That's why he's taking it.
All right, chat, who is your favorite capsule monster in the game?
Everyone's just going to say Fumi. We already know that. We
Wow,
got some iris items on people too. You get points for iris items. It's the things I was talking about earlier, the super rare things. We're giving points for each one. We have an iris ring on Mike, I think. Yeah, iris ring for Mike. And we got an iris on No Name too, so, or Hapkainanama. So that's some free points.
And
nice.
He's going again for these sand gorms, so he could potentially, get what he's looking for, but again, that he might be running out of time at the end, and to even get that bonus, he's got to master form his capsule. So,
isn't there? And you can get earth fruit on the later enemies too, though, right?
Right. That's one of the few fruits you can get in 2 places. The other one being the behemoth.
Yeah. Okay. And so, farming sand gorms. I mean, it's not a bad idea. Like, he's getting bonus experience, but I think the drop rate is higher on the later ones. So if he doesn't get the fruit needed to evolve his capsule monster to the maximum form now, he still has a chance coming up later. So that'll be nice. Look at all those cores on Drizz's screen right there.
Yeah.
That is beautiful in a marathon. Hopefully we get some to stay. There's one.
Of course, they are red cores. We're already over half an hour into this, and he's already got to be thinking probably about how much time he has to mess around with this stuff. It's hard to pass up cores, though.
Yeah, you can't, like, even if you're, trying to book it, you see cores in a marathon, you kind of have to go for them all.
Yep.
Unless you're doing, I guess, just a straight any percent race, but we're not, so. So it looks like in terms of floors, Travictox is in the lead right now. You can tell by the tile set.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 3 different tile sets in the game. Drist is in the first tile set, which is the tower tile set. The first 20 floors look like a castle or a tower, basically. The next 20 floors, 21 to 40, are the dungeon tile set, and that's where everyone else except Travictox is in. And then Travictox is in the cave tile set, which goes from 41 to 98. So he's in the lead right now. He's got plenty of time to slow down and start farming things he needs and stuff.
Yeah, and bonus point stuff. Now, I don't think he's actually faced a ninja yet.
I mean, he's got to be past ninjas by now. I'll check when he goes down the next set of stairs, but...
Well, I saw the snakes. I thought maybe the snakes were...
True. One blue core is worth. What is one blue core worth?
Is it a bunch of 2s or a bunch of 3s? A bunch of 2s?
I'm not sure. I know red core is like 2222, right?
I thought reds were 111.
No. Needless to say, it's a lot of experience. We got a gold eye for Mike too, so there's some points. We were talking about that earlier. Gold eye is not only points, but one of the better items that you can find in a blue chest. It can get you through some pretty nasty situations. So you saw him spinning a little bit of a circle there in joy. Just so happy to find the gold eye.
And showing off.
And he deserves it. Yeah, so far no one has died, which is good news. Some other marathons we've had where people have been wrecked kind of early, so it's good to see that everybody's getting relatively good luck so far in terms of surviving the cave. But the hardest is yet to come, so we'll see.
Yeah, I would agree that it's clearly I've not seen anybody use any skill yet, that it's all luck, so I'm in agreement with that.
Well, yeah, that's all this game is luck anyway.
Now, when we are getting these blue chests, not only are we looking for awesome items, again, we're looking at some of those bonus points. And if you want to look at the point sheet, you can see what some of those bonuses are. As you know, we've got 2 gold eyes already that are bonuses, but also if you've brought in a lady, it looks like the ice hairband and diamond ring are good for 5-point bonuses. And then if you get a catfish jewel, you get catfished. Usually that's terrible, but in this case you get a 5-point bonus if you use the IP attack on it.
Yeah, that's probably one of the worst blue chests in the entire game, if not the worst, to find. And we decided, if you're gonna get that bad of RNG, we might as well give you some points for it. So.
Right. There's another blue for Hab. Let's see what it is.
Agony Helm, that's a good one. That's some a little bit of tankiness you can put on Decker or other people, but you should put it on Decker, honestly.
Now, I'm seeing on the bonus sheet you get 5 for the gold eye. I am assuming it maxes out at 1 bonus.
Yeah, I think you only get that point one time.
So there's Hab with his devilfish, but I don't think he's going to try it. Good idea. There's Trick for Ellie.
He's kind of thinking about it, it looks like.
That sounds like him.
Yeah, so we mentioned Trick earlier because who was it? Who found the Trick ring? Oh, was it Triz? Yeah, on his re-enter. So Trick is the 20% attack boost. Trick ring makes it 40%, but even without having Trick ring, 20% is still very nice.
It here. Did he get the surprise attack? I guess so.
He must have, because he's destroying them.
Yeah. Wow.
Let's see if he gets the charm fruit, and he does. There's some points for Hob.
Damn.
So if you look at the points right now, Traffic Talks is in the lead, but it's a little bit misleading because he's got the extra points from making it so much deeper into the cave so far. He might still be in the lead anyway. I don't think so. So say they all make it to the end, it'll even out more, and I think Hob will be in the lead because he has a lot of bonus points, to be honest, right now. So looking good for. And
it looks
Hob.
like Traffic did make it through free and clear from ninjas.
Yeah, and right now he's farming for a twist jewel. So there's monsters have a chance to drop items, and there are some items that you can go out of your way for in a marathon that definitely make the game easier. And Traffic's going for a twist jewel right now, which is the highest agility jewel in the game, which makes your character faster. You put it on Artie and he goes before almost any monster. So he is he's definitely going to try and fight as many of those Brin's lizards as he can.
So if you're trying to gauge how people are doing time-wise, one of the ways that I sometimes will do it is if you spend a minute per floor, that's 98 minutes. That's a little over an hour and a half. So people who are about the same floor that they are the same minutes on the timer, they're usually in pretty good position that even if they get some bad luck, they're going to be able to get to the jelly before that 2-hour mark.
Yeah, good pace, especially if anybody here is watching and they're in a later heat coming up. 10 minutes per 10 floors is pretty solid for a 2-hour run. So you can, get to the end at about an hour 40, and that gives you about 20 minutes of breathing room if you run into something that's a little difficult and slows you down. So
just as Reflect points out that it didn't seem like anyone had a Decker Blade, Mike snags one.
Yeah, so Decker Blade being the most important item for the jelly. It does half of the any monster that you use it on, it does half of their current health in damage, period. It does at least that much damage. So we said earlier, you have to kill the jelly in 3 turns. So if you have to do 10,000 damage in 3 turns, Decker Blade's basically doing half of that in one attack in 1 turn. So
yep.
It's super important. If you find that, it is a huge side relief. So he is definitely happy. Pop getting some cores. He's happy about that.
Yep, and Travik's still working quickly, which is going to give him some extra time to work with there toward the end of the game. As you can see, at least 2 of our runners fighting assassins, and we know that Travik has already been through the ninjas. And there's Ellie picking up a deadly rod, immediately equipping it.
Yeah, Deadly Rod, we mentioned this earlier, but in case anyone missed it, Deadly Rod is one of the few items that has instant kill on its on just regular attacks. And Deadly Rod, not only is it good for getting to the jelly, but if you can uncurse it for the jelly, it also has an IP attack that does 1/8 of the target's current health. So it is very nice.
Driz just found Ice Falcon. If I'm not mistaken, he also has Ice Ring. So we're getting some really cool stuff in this run. Hell, Driz has both Ice Ring plus Ice Falcon and Trick Ring, and he brought in a Dark Mirror from his Providence. So he's got some things going on as well.
Yeah, if he doesn't fall too far behind and can make it there in 2 hours, he has very, very good equipment. The Ice Ring, there's 4 elemental rings: Ice, Fire, Lightning, or Thunder. I mean, Ice, Fire, Thunder, and whatever, water. That one's garbage though. They double the base power of that element spell. So with the Ice Ring, you cast Ice Valk. It's almost twice as powerful. So that's really nice to use on the jelly and on enemies weak to ice, which there are some that you're going to want to farm about halfway through the cave. So definitely happy he's got that.
Yeah, so we were talking just a few minutes ago about gauging where you are time-wise, and as loaded as Driz is, we're 43 minutes in, and it looks like he's still in the early 20s. So he's going to have to make up a little bit of time.
Late 20s, yeah. Somewhere in the 20s.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give a quick shout out before anything else crazy happens. I want to give a quick shout out to the AC Discord. If you're a fan of Lufia, not just the Ancient Cave, but Lufia in general, the Ancient Cave Discord is basically the biggest and best community for anybody that likes Lufia. So I don't know if Shadow is here and can hear us and can link it or something, but if you're interested, I highly recommend joining the Ancient Cave Discord. We have a lot of cool talk in there about Lufia in general, about Ancient Cave strategies. We do, I think, at least 2 events a year now, and yeah, it's a great place. So definitely recommend. There's the link right there. Shadow just linked. Definitely recommend checking out the Ancient Cave Discord if you have not already.
Yeah, and if you're thinking about maybe you want to get into speedrunning this game, there are resources there. Not only are you going to get support from your fellow members, but there are definitely some resources that you can get linked to from the Discord to get you started on speedrunning the cave. And we can help you out. Now, if you want to see what it looks like right now as far as the different categories and what the records are and what the standings look like, you can always go to speedrun.com, look up Lufia 2, and see all the different categories and leaderboards.
I also want to give a quick shout out to El Magus right now because he's not hosting it this time, but in the early days of this tournament, he hosted it on his channel and pretty much helped get these tournaments off the ground. So big shout out to him. He's currently the any percent world record holder too, so definitely done a lot for the community. Gotta give a shout out to him. All right, so Travik's on 55 at 45 minutes. So
Yep.
And he found a dire ring. Does he have
a lady?
He has Lexus. Ooh, that's a I mean, Lexus is good, but he's not going to get the points for equipping the diamond ring, unfortunately.
Yep.
'cause
So
it
if you
can
look at the
only go
fine
on
print,
ladies.
yeah, if you look at the fine print, you can't just find the diamond ring. You have to be able to equip it. So that was not a bonus.
Okay, so we got Mike fighting ninjas.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about your expertise in ninjutsu really quick?
Yep, it's a little bit harder to do in words than with like videos, but the ninjas one of the easiest ways to die in the cave and one of the most likely ways to get knocked out of a tournament. They can recognize that you're in a room and dash at you 2 spaces at a time. Now what you're looking to do is get that 50% chance. Of course, your first option is always get to the stairs. Avoid. But the second option is do anything you can to potentially get that 50% shot at a surprise attack on them, because that makes the battle go way easier. Of course, what everybody's afraid of is their knife throw, which is an attack on everyone that's very powerful. And I didn't actually see how Mike engaged them, but it looks like he...
Yeah, in an any percent run, they can end you pretty quickly because you're trying to go fast and you're kind of underleveled and stuff. But even in a marathon, they're still very dangerous. So even if you have a lot of safety levels, if you can't get that surprise attack on them.
And he got really helped out by the bushes there. They completely blocked off ninja access. And that's really one of the keys in avoiding and trying to get that 50% is using anything in the room. Objects, other enemies, anything you can do. You're really doing the best you can to get... There's a fry sword for Driz! Loaded.
And while he gets that good luck, Travik just ran into some Sly Foxes, which are kind of dangerous enemies. I think he's going to be fine, but I think Maxim's going to die.
Now here's another spot
Lexus.
where the bolt shield would help someone. He's not the one who found it. He did survive, and we'll see how he's doing on revives. He's got rally, so again, that proves what you were saying earlier, just how valuable rally is. It's a cheap source of revive.
Yeah, it's
fine.
Yeah, he's happy he has that right now.
Yep.
I bet.
Super happy. Okay, so here we are in a situation for Driz. He got the 50. Well, that was assassins, not ninjas. But you can see there how he timed it. I don't know if that was on purpose, how quickly he did that. But he got the shot at the 50%. We'll see how everybody else does.
Yeah, and when we say 50%, what we're talking about is most of the enemies in the cave, or at least half of them or something like that, or about half, whatever, have a way that they face when they move around. And if you attack them from behind, you get a surprise attack, so a free round. If they attack you from behind, they get a free round. But if you attack them from the side, you have a 50% chance at getting a surprise attack or just a normal round. And when we're saying 50% when you're fighting ninjas and assassins and stuff, it's pretty important to know how to kind of force that 50% chance against them.
So
Mike's
Mike's
doing it right now.
Yeah, Mike's got an interesting situation where he's kind of sandwiched between some tougher enemies. There were some options for him there to clear out the iron golems from bothering him. He didn't do that. And what he's trying to do, I think, is go through that upper doorway so he that 50-50 on the ninjas. and he's kind of in a jam here. Looks like he's using miracles to revive.
Oh no, Hobkainama is fighting
Yep.
ninjas, and he is probably dead here. Yeah, they're not going to be able to survive that no matter what. Ooh,
And
Maxim barely took any damage. If he was back road, he might
back
have
road,
survived
yeah.
multiple hits. Wow. So there's our first defeat, Hobkainama. And like we were saying, ninjas, no matter how stacked you are, they can destroy you. They have a move called Knife Thrower that attacks everybody, and it does a ton of damage. And there it is.
Yeah, we got all kinds of incredible fights going on right now. Mike just did a safety strat preemptive healing against these ninjas, and it looked like Travic just took care of those 2 high Hedoras. Even though he didn't get the drop he was looking for, he survived.
Yeah, once you pass ninjas, they spawn on floors 44 to 46. Once you pass ninjas, you're pretty much okay for a while after. They're kind of the mid cave roadblock, and you don't really have to worry until like the 70s or something, or 60s, late 60s.
Yeah,
for the
and
most part.
I missed what the situation was when Hab engaged those ninjas. Did you happen to see that?
I just know that he didn't get a surprise attack, or if I don't think there's any way he got a surprise attack. So
yeah,
he's
now
just hoping for no knife throwers, basically.
So he YOLO'd it early on. He did the strategy of using the Providence when he got something really good to build his bonus points, but now he's in a very difficult situation of having to catch up and essentially do a complete run in a little over an hour. And pretty much all bonus strats are just out the window. He's going for a fast jelly kill.
Yeah, it's an hour and 10 in a marathon is, I mean, he does have that gold eye, and I don't think he has anything else, but he has at least the gold eye. It'll help him, but yeah, an hour and 10 in a marathon is pretty crazy. So he's going to have to hope for some good luck and go pretty fast from here on out. Silver Sword for Elison. He has a weapon for Maxim now. Silver Sword is a weapon that has an IP attack that does 3 times damage, so that's a very nice one to have for the jelly. He's going to be pretty happy he found that.
Hey, thank you everyone in chat for picking up on some of these questions. With so much action going on right now, I'm missing most, so we really appreciate you picking those up. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. I definitely appreciate it. We got
look at
Travic fighting no cores. So no, we were talking about cores earlier. They're basically the metal slimes of this game. No cores are the best ones. They give the most experience. They're the last cores you fight, and he just got 2, which is insane. He's level 33, and he's got a little under an hour and 10 minutes left. So he is looking really good right now in terms of making it far. As long as he doesn't get roadblocked by like an Archfiend treasure room or some kind of Dragon Con or something, he's looking like he's going to be pretty safe.
So now, I think he is still looking for a Decker Blade.
Yeah, in terms of killing the jelly, I don't think he's close to a kill yet. But in terms of getting there, he's looking pretty good so far. And he might even get more cores right there.
Yeah. All right, so Driz is using... Yeah, Driz didn't know his elements there, and he was trying to use, I believe, a Holy Elemental against an enemy who is protected against a Holy. And this is looking very, very... Okay, so Decker's alive. That's why we have a tank, right?
Yeah, Decker's basically... I would say Artie's the most important character in a speedrun, but in a marathon, Decker is absolutely the greatest character.
Okay.
He survives things that no one else does. So
yeah, some of those early strats are maybe starting to catch up with Driz. He's in an unfortunate, unlucky situation. He doesn't look like he's got a spell that revives. He's now out of item revives, and it's down to his best 2 characters. So we'll see if he can make it through, get a couple revives, and get back on track in just a little over an hour. Well, he does have a Providence, but he's not gonna like use it now.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Using a Providence now, basically, you're hoping for an hour run, and that's even the top runners can't just pull an hour run out of nowhere. So that's not something you're really trying to do in a marathon. So he's gonna just hope for good luck in items and spells and stuff from here on out, and hope that he can revive people. The way he died, though, we were mentioning elements. In typical JRPG fashion, most monsters have a weakness, and he chose to use Zap, which is the most powerful spell in the game generally.
Ooh,
And
sorry,
he used
Ellie.
yeah. He used it against an enemy that was strong against it, and because he I guess didn't know the exact typing of that enemy, and it did cost him.
Yeah.
But Eli,
Yeah, did he not? Did he use some RC healing strats there? By not healing before the battle, or maybe he can't. I'm not sure. He was purposely fighting Behemoth earlier, which we talked about. He was going for, I guess, the Earth Fruit. But now he's in an awkward situation. Yeah, I'm kind of waiting to see what his situation is.
who Eli?
Yeah, because he
He's-
didn't like completely heal, or are all those characters alive?
Yeah, he has rally and like strong or something, or stronger. They're all alive and full healed now. I think he
Okay.
just wasn't expecting to fight them. So what he we're talking about though is he was fighting these birds called Surfacos, which we have another name that we can't mention here, but we have another name for them in the AC community. And they attack 3 times, do a lot of damage, and usually always go first. So you try to avoid them at all costs because they are not usually run killers, but they can be, and even if they're not run killers, they do a lot of damage. Can kill your party, so they're not fun.
Yep, here's more Behemoths, again going for that Earth Fruit drop. It's a pretty tough drop, but he's wanting that 5 bonus, and his time's not bad, so this is no problem. Yeah, and one of the reasons I think Driz was maybe fooled on that, using the Zap, is because we've essentially got 3 sets of enemies in the cave who look almost the Ochi warriors, the Dark warriors, and the samurai. But it's only the first set that are considered undead and weak to Zap.
Yeah, there's a little bit of we'll call it like sprite
Duplication.
reusing in this game. Duplication, yeah, sprite duplication. So some enemies look like other enemies, but they're different. And in that case, Ochi warriors and stuff look kind of like samurais, but they're not weak to the same thing. So that's kind of why he used Zap on them earlier. I think he was assuming they had the same weaknesses as Ochi warriors, and they do not.
Yeah, and again, we were referencing Ellie going for an Earth Fruit. The reason, again, the bonus points. If you want to check out the point sheet, that's available, getting linked in chat. And he then would have to feed his capsule all the way to 4, then feed the fruit to get the capsule monster to master form to get that bonus.
Okay, so Driss is in a difficult spot here because he has a ninja that he has to fight to get to the stairs. He can't get a 50% chance at a surprise attack on them, and Tia's dead. So we're gonna watch Drizzt here. This is not a good situation. Hopefully, there's only like 1 ninja in that pack, and then he should be able to kill it, no problem. But if it's 3, this could be a wipe right here. So let's just hope for the best.
Yeah, I don't know his agility situation, but he's got Ice Ring plus Ice Valk that Artie could do. And he's got a Fry Sword on Decker. He's not back rowing Maxim, so he might have a good attack for Maxim.
There's a knife thrower, 2
Ooh,
knife
front
throwers.
Oh!
Oh, Decker is tanky though. He's got some good stuff on him.
So,
Crit. He could back row Decker and live. It's possible. Ooh, the
and
knife
he's
thrower,
almost
though.
got enough IP to do the Fry.
Decker is such a beast. I don't know if he can revive everyone, but that was beautiful.
Yeah, as long as he can heal Decker, he can now do the Fry Sword's IP attack to wipe the other 2 ninjas.
Oh yeah, actually he can. Will it? It'll kill him from the back row too, right? Or he won't even die in the front row. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
got it.
such
Decker
a
is
tank.
just
Yeah, stud.
such a stud.
All right, that was cool stuff. Now, of course, the question remains: what happens after this fight? We'll see. But good job there by Driz of completing this thing.
Yeah, making the best out of a very very bad situation. And there's a regain for Artie if he didn't have one too. So nice.
Here's one of the best kind of treasure rooms for Ellie. Not much dangerous, and so you get to pretty much loot the place as much as you want. And it's full of cores.
Yeah, Eli's definitely going to take his time in this treasure room. Those cores are going to be useful. The rest of these enemies aren't really too scary. And some decent items are already dropping for him, so I'm assuming he's going to, for the most part, loot the entire treasure room and kill all the cores if he can.
Alright, so Driz has just one more floor of ninjas before he's kind of in a clearing where he should be able to move around the cave for a while pretty easily.
Ooh, and there's
Ooh.
another ninja for him. But we were talking about manipulating a 50-50. He did that just now. So
Yep.
hopefully he gets the surprise attack, which he does. Beautiful.
Oh, he's using Zap. We'll see if that should kill him.
Yeah, and then Decker is tanky with the fry sword, so he's not going to
Yep.
die to this.
Yep.
Very nice.
Nice. Decker MVP.
It's placed twice. That's amazing.
Super strats there.
And we got a lizard blow on someone. I just see it in chat.
Yeah, I missed it too. So much awesome stuff going on. Traffic was going for some Hedoras there, but did he just maybe skip another one there?
Mike. So Mike has a lizard blow. Lizard blow is one of the best items for the jelly in the game, so that's a amazing find. Anyone can use it.
Oh,
Does 3 times damage.
another ninja
It's
for
amazing.
Driz.
Did he get it? He got in first, or?
Yep.
Nice. Yeah. Oh yeah, he must have. Ooh, definitely. He's fine.
Yeah.
It's hard not to just watch Driz right now because he is getting bad stuff done to him, and he is just dishing it back perfectly, pretty much. So it's pretty interesting to watch.
Yeah, and it's kind of a weird situation where sometimes you're actually in a better position with your weaker characters dead. You can just focus on the 2 good ones that you've got.
We got Rally for Hobbs, so he, like we were mentioning earlier, he has to go pretty fast after that death that he took. Rally will definitely help him take more risks, though. It's one of, like we said earlier, it's one of the 2 revival spells that you can cast, so finding that is definitely a huge sigh of relief.
Yeah, in addition to that, I think I saw him earlier get champion, but he's got some work to do. We'll keep an eye on that.
So Eli and Travik are in a part of the cave now. It's basically the final breakpoint in terms of items. They're past floor 60, and on floor 60, pretty much every item can spawn now. And a really important one besides Decker Blade that they're looking for is Myth Blade. It is probably the second best fractional that there is. So hopefully we can see one of them find a Myth Blade, because if you get Myth Blade and Decker Blade, I'm not saying the jelly's a free kill, but it's pretty easy at that point. So it'd be nice to see one of those. Stopping to look at the points right now. Traffic Talks is definitely in the lead. Hob was in the lead, I think, if he were to get to the jelly. He still could be if he does, because he got a lot of bonus points. But if he doesn't make it back to the jelly because of that death, those bonus points probably aren't going to help him too much. So currently, I guess I would have to say Traffic Talks is in the lead. But anything can happen because there's still a lot of points that are coming up that people can get, like farming gold eyes, which I don't recommend, but other things as well.
So we'll be keeping an eye on Mike. Mike, he just hit floor 58. So this is kind of a fun 3 floors where you're hunting no-cores, you're getting easy surprise attacks on Hedoras and hoping for the Hedora rock drop. And some of the best stuff starts dropping in this area, including Mythblade on floor 60.
And speaking of Hedora rock, some of you might be wondering, you're probably not wondering, but in case you are wondering, what is a Hedora? One of the best things about this game is that whoever translated this stuff to English decided, I don't know what any of this stuff is, so I'll just directly translate it from Japanese and just, yeah, that'll be it. So it's supposed to be Hydra or Hydra Rock, but, you know, in Japanese it's Hedora, and they just left that. And yeah, so we have all these cool names. There's a flower that's supposed to be called Rafflesia, but for some reason the translator guy's like, that looks like Lufia. So we have some kind of flower named Lufia, and there's a bunch more, like Gorum instead of Golem. It's the best part about this game for sure. Wybon instead of Wyvern, yeah.
So I might see the worst situation I've seen so far in this race. Traffic, I think, is having to navigate a horizontal hallway with Orkies, and you can see that his deadly missed, but he then got good luck, and that the Orky did not do his 8 times physical attack, but he did Octo Head Blast. And he's having to burn his second smoke ball, so he's really having a heck of a time with this guy.
Yeah, so generally you don't really have to fight Orkies, but when you do, it's horrible. And it's looking like this hallway is bad. It looks like he has to go through it, or he wouldn't be in here. Orkies are nasty. They attack 8 times most of the time, and his deadly is missing.
Now, Dank,
so
how much is 80%? I'm confused on what that is.
So some people in the community think that the deadly rod and the deadly sword and the fatal pick and all that stuff have an 80% kill rate, and it doesn't. It has a 50% kill rate because it either kills or it doesn't. And as we saw there, it didn't, and then it did. So 50.
Yeah, a lot of didn't.
That's how statistics work.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why I like running this game, because it's 50% chance of PB every time. I either PB or I don't.
Yep.
When it comes to RNG, I will definitely take those odds.
So you can also see that Travik's fast pace might be paying off here. Even though he got bad luck in getting a terrible hallway, he's got the time to navigate it. And whereas the other people who are running did not have that fast of a pace, if they get stuck with the same thing, that's really going to be something for them to overcome.
So Drizzt, who has to make up some time still, is very happy because he just found a deadly rod. And he still can't revive the majority of his party, but he has his 2 best characters alive, and the deadly rod going on Artie is going to make him coming back into this a lot easier. So he's definitely happy for that. He's also past ninjas, so he has a while to check for some better items and chests and stuff as he's going forward too. He has about 10-20 floors left before things start getting really hairy again. Meanwhile, Travictox is still up in this nasty hallway trying to get past these horrible enemies.
Now, I didn't notice this. Despite his super fast pace, he's already managed to feed Gusta to 4th form. So I'm wondering if he had some magic fruits to play with. Usually, feeding to the 4th form is pretty time-consuming.
It can be, yeah. Another thing, too, I don't know if we mentioned exactly how you evolve your capsule monsters, but you basically feed them items. And there is absolutely no logic to it. There's nothing about it makes any sense at all. Squealer just gets lucky every time, I swear. It has nothing to do with skill. We got some warm eyes in the bottom left there. Those are not fun enemies. They're usually not too deadly, but they take a lot of time if you have to fight them. They can be deadly, though.
Yeah, so if something goes wrong, like they surprise attack you, that could be, what is that, like 8 turns?
8
And then if
turns
you're
before you can run unless you get
Yep.
lucky, yeah.
And then if you try to run and you're slower than they are, well, then that's 16 turns they've got on you.
Yeah, they each attack twice, and yeah, not fun. They also have one of the most annoying movements in the entire. Ooh, Deadly Rod for Eli. Does he already have one though?
Yeah, I think he does.
They have one of the most annoying movements though, and Eli just beautifully just traps it behind a bush though. So right, there you go. Movement is definitely very important to running this game. There
Now,
are all kinds of patterns, and
I want to ask
Eli
chat,
is the champ.
as far as you know, chat, is Mike the only one with a Decker blade so far?
I believe he is.
And we've not seen any other like super awesome things like a Gades blade or a Myth blade or like an old Cancer combo.
Oh,
So
Eli also has a Decker blade. Okay, that's amazing. So
We
2
wanna
Decker
definitely-
blades is a decent chance that we're gonna see 2 jelly kills, assuming no Archfiend / Dragon Con shenanigans coming up.
Mhm. And even though he's not quite as fast as Travik right now, I don't think Ellie's actually his time is.
Yeah, both Travik and Eli, and even Mike are sitting totally pretty in terms of making it to the jelly on time in the 2-hour mark. So that's good. Also, we were mentioning feeding. In the bottom right, you can see Drizzt. He is feeding his capsule monster. What you do is you just feed it all your items until it eventually evolves. Like I said, there's no logic to it at all. People will say that there's logic to it, like you feed it gold intensive items and stuff like that, and that there's a rhythm, but it doesn't. It makes no sense. It's a horrible mechanic. I hate it, and that's it.
I'm just gonna leave that at that.
Yeah, it's just science, you know. Ooh, 4 magic fruits for Drizzt. So those fill 8 bars. You have to fill what, 32 bars for each level?
Yeah, something like that.
So 4 magic fruits is basically 1 free full level of evolving. So he is gonna just go straight to form 4 right here.
But once again, he is one of the ones who used the Providence, and this is burning up some of his time. I'm not sure how valuable this is going to be. 4th form Blaze is pretty stinky.
Sure is. I'm kind of sad that no one took Fumi, right? I don't think anyone took Fumi. Fumi is the goodest of boys.
Yeah, you
he's a
keep
blob
pronouncing
that evolves
Darby
into a...
strangely, though.
No, Darby. Get out of here with that Darby. Fumi is a blob that evolves into a blob that evolves into a blob. Then he evolves into another blob, and then he evolves into like a 9-tailed fox that can hit for like 1,000 damage. So he's just such a good boy. I wish more people would use him. Yeah, it's a lot of tails.
And you could actually see that master form of Fumi featured on the cover art for this year's tournament, thanks to Eve.
Yeah, Eve knows that he's the goodest boy.
So I heard, I haven't checked this out myself, I heard that ice robes are actually one of the best sources of gold if Trav is going for the gold incentive, 700,007 gold. That apparently was a good gold get there, but
Eli just found his 2nd Decker blade, which is you can see him running around the chest, not in victory, in kind of frustration probably, because you don't need more than one, because only Decker can use the Decker blade, and there's only one Decker. So that's capsule food at best.
so this may be actually a way that others can learn, because every year the scoring changes a little bit in Fatal Blowout. If you're in the first run, you don't really get to see how it goes for other players, but people who are going to be in the later races can check out to see how things are going. Even though it was a cool strat, our 2 who used Providence are going to have some trouble with the timer have
So we
maybe
just got
completely
a
out of it.
curse lifter on Mike and Valor on Traffic Talk. So Valor, I would argue, is the best spell in the game. It's not the best at any one thing, but it's the most well-rounded. It can do a ton of damage to undead because it's a healing spell, and undead take damage from healing. It can revive people, and it's basically a full heal on everybody. So it's very, very nice. And then the curse lifter on Mike. So we mentioned about the deadly weapons. They're all cursed, and one of the point incentives is to not curse them, or not uncurse them. But one of the deadly weapons has a really good IP attack if you do uncurse it, and the only way to uncurse it is with a curse lifter. So if he has a deadly rod, he can uncurse it for the jelly, and it will be very, very helpful for him.
So this game's been around for almost 25 years, and one of the things that's pretty cool, I think, about it is that we continue to learn new things. So even this calendar year, we've learned probably at least 3 things in techniques, enemy movement techs that have helped us out in being more safe, going faster. And of course, with some of the other popular speedrunning games out there, it's so tough to find new techniques that come out. And when they do, it's like you save fractions of a second. But that's one of the cool things I think about this game is there's sort of like a mystique to it. And we continue, even 25 years later, to unearth new little secrets and new little things that help us out as we go through in our speedruns.
Yeah, just when you think you know everything there is to know about movement, someone comes and does something on accident, and you were like, what was that? And then you try it out, and you're like, oh, okay, now I can use that in literally every run. So it's definitely pretty cool. It keeps getting easier and easier to manipulate certain enemies as time goes on. One day we might not even have to fight anyone in the entire cave. Traffic Talks just hit 100 points recently, which is very good. Definitely still in the lead. If he can kill the jelly, he'll get another 100 points. So, yeah. If he can get a Decker Blade, because I don't think he has one yet.
Yeah.
He should be pretty good. But Mike, and Eli both have Decker Blades, I believe, and Eli has 2, and they are not far behind. They are definitely on a good pace still. So no one is really in the lead as of yet. There are definitely a couple people behind, though, due to some unfortunate things, as you can see right here on Hobbs' screen.
We're about to see Iris percent, I think.
Yeah, he has 2 ways to go, and they're both blocked by blue mimics. So those look like blue treasure chests, but they're not. They are blue mimics. They are terribly strong enemies, especially for when you face them. He's only level 11. He does have a gold eye. This is going to be rough.
Oh, yeah, it's 4. 3 of them are in the front row, making them more powerful because rows do matter. And he doesn't even know he's going the right way. He's coin flipping it, and
if this is the wrong way, he has at least 2 more blue mimic fights that he has to at least enter. He can run from them, but he has to at least try them. So let's hope that this was the right way. Otherwise, it's not looking good.
Traffic just got an Archfiend sprite, but it luckily turned out to be 2 ice rogues, and he's got a free pathway now to the stairs.
Yeah, so those enemies that Traffic's fighting are not very scary. They can be if everything goes wrong, but usually it doesn't. They share the same sprite with one of the worst enemies in the game, though, so you don't know if you're fighting Ice Rogues or Archfiends until you fight them. And their movement pattern kind of forces you to fight them half the time. Maybe not half the time, but sometimes you have to fight them. And he lucked out that it was 2 Ice Rogues right there.
Welcome to Viewer Drac. You have a great question there about how to get those bonus points with the mimics. First of all, they have to be positioned in a way that the only way to advance is to go through them. then you must defeat to get the bonus. So no, Hab did not get the bonus there.
Yeah, the bonus for the blue mimic fights is only to kill. Only if you have to kill them. He doesn't have to kill them. He can run. So, unfortunately, fortunately, because he might not be able to kill them, but unfortunately, he's not going to be able to get those points.
Okay, so Trav had a chariot with an Archfiend, but fortunately it's positioned in a way he can just escape, which he just did, and
yeah, so Archfiends are one of the scariest we've mentioned a couple times. They have an obscene amount of health. So you basically only want to try and kill them with a deadly, but that's still risky because if it misses, then you have to fight an Archfiend for another round. They attack twice, and they can cast Thunder on your whole party. They can do that twice if they want, and you can fight 2 of them at once. So 4 Thunders generally wipes a party. So you basically want to just avoid Archfiends at all costs if you can. You also can't surprise attack them. So
yeah, and it'll be interesting to see our 3 that are kind of in the lead here depth-wise all have Artie in their party, and do they all have instant death on Artie? So we'll see if...
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, so we'll see if any of them actually have an agility boost high enough that Artie is going to act before Archfiends. Should they...
Generally in a 90% run you don't, but in a marathon with all the safety experience that they're farming up, it's not that unlikely that Artie can go faster than Archfiends.
Driz is in an interesting situation, and Decker just got paralyzed. This is going to be rough.
This is what we were talking about, how Warm Eyes can be kind of dangerous.
Yep, so
Luckily,
we're not going to talk about all the quirks of the game because we'd be talking for 2 hours just about that. But what almost happened there was only Decker remaining. See, Driz needs to know that horizontal hallway trick. Only Decker remaining paralyzed. There is a glitch that allows Decker in that situation to escape without even having to take any damage. Something to do with, what was it, the order of operations? It checks for stuff first?
Basically, yeah. So he's getting really unlucky. He's trying to get that 50% surprise attack on them so he can actually kill them.
Yeah.
But it keeps not rolling in his favor, and he just gets an even fight, and they're going before he can escape.
Mm-hmm.
So...
And he can't even do one of the high-level strats, which would be to kill Decker in the situation so that Artie goes first, because he just doesn't have a situation where he can do that. And Ellie... I wasn't even paying attention. Ellie just ripped 2 genies? Wow. I am so sorry I did not notice. That is shocking. Did his deadly just miss, or... I'm sorry, guys. I don't even know how that happened.
Yeah, genies typically don't kill you, but they can't. If they decide to use their spells, they will do tons of damage. And they're another one of those enemies that have an obscene amount of health, and you really only want to use deadlies on them if you can. And you really don't even want to fight them at all because they just can take all your mana away. They absorb your MP. They can do AoEs that wipe you, like just happened to Eli, and they're not fun, as you can see. So that is very, very unfortunate. I don't want to say he's out, but he's pretty much out. He would have to get to the jelly in basically world record time now.
Yeah, I'll say he's out.
I'll say he's probably out. I mean, anything can happen, but
yeah, boy. So chat saying, yeah, his deadlies were just plain missing, and I don't know the situation, that they must have been blocking him like in a doorway or something where he had to go through them. So it looks like Driz did eventually make it through there. Now there is a strategy, a movement strat that's kind of newer that not a lot of people do in a horizontal hallway. Very difficult to explain in a short amount of time. But essentially it's getting them to charge at you, and you get like a bonus turn where you can kind of go around them. Of course, the issue there was he only had 2 characters, and with Decker being one of those characters, there was no guarantee he would get to escape and move past. So he did it, so kudos to him for getting through that.
Another thing is Drizzt's Deadly just missed on Gold Gorums. Those enemies are not fun because they can use something called Golden Mist on you, which is a party-wide attack that does tons of damage. Yeah, so having to fight these is not fun, and it looks like he has to get through this next door.
Yeah, I think Ellie's going to have something to say about how that went down. Can't wait.
Sky Sword for Hob. He needs to go very quick to get to the jellies still, but Sky Sword is a very, very strong weapon. Probably it is the highest ATP weapon, attack power weapon in the game. So, you know, you can pair it with some pretty good stuff and put it on Decker to kill stuff pretty easily.
Yeah, I'm dying to watch that video already. Sin. Another thing to keep in mind that I've not seen anybody take advantage of yet is using status effects to your advantage. Early on in my career, I guess you could call it, I always threw out status effect balls, like Freeze Ball and Sleep Ball. And what I later found out is that as long as the enemy can be put to sleep or can be paralyzed, they're effective 100% of the time. So you're essentially disabling them for a majority of the fight until you can find a way to kill them easily.
Yeah, statuses can be super important on things like copper dragons, genies, and stuff. So definitely can be useful. The problem is that, like I said earlier, people believe that the Deadly has a 80% hit chance, and it does not. It is 50%. It either hits or it doesn't, and it didn't. And Eli got triple ground shocked and died. So status balls could have helped him there. I don't know if he had any. There's a chance he didn't.
Yep.
But if, say, you put him to sleep, then you only get 2 ground shocks, and you probably can live. And yeah, so statuses are very, very important on the enemies that can be effective. Got oh, and there we go. Mike using a confused ball on one of the genies right there to make sure that it can't use its special. That is very, very nice. Hob having to fight ninjas. Not looking good.
Yeah, I just watched the replay of that. One of the things that he did that was strategically prudent is he brought in purposely Tia to pair with Artie so that his team had a lot of agility. But in that case, it's just so easy to think that those genies, who are probably the weakest genies of all, aren't going to hurt you. False sense of security.
Yeah, and as we've seen, those weakest genies can still kill you, so. Speaking of weakest genies, we have the strongest genies on the top right in Traffic Talks' screen, the wind genies. They are super fast, and he's in a position where he has to get by them in some manner or another. Looks like he's going to just try and kill them. The deadly hit, so he's good. One spell from the genie won't wipe him or anything, so he's good.
Yeah, and hello to our viewer, Larthantos. You're right to an extent that Fry, Sword, and Dark Mirror have carried Drizzt, but that's kind of how it goes when you have Decker. When you get him equipped with some decent stuff, it doesn't even have to be Blue Chest. He's your tank, he's your damage dealer, and that's not unusual.
81
Rue's
from
armor.
Mike. So we were talking about the genies and the archfiends earlier, and how you don't want to fight them really. They end on floor 88. 87 is the last floor that they spawn. So once you make it to floor 88, there are still powerful enemies, but you're pretty much in the clear. So once they get there, they're definitely going to have a huge sigh of relief.
Now, one of the things I'm not sure about, I think it
and
is.
Travik's
Go ahead.
on 88, so
Yeah,
he's
past
good.
Archfiends, yeah. So I think it is legal if you are running in this race to, if you want, be distracted by the score sheet and seeing what other people are doing. That could really affect how, especially Mike, and Travik act from here on out, if they're aware of what each other is doing and how they're scoring.
Decker Blade for Travik talks right there.
That's
super
what he was
late.
dying for. He was dying.
Super late. That is huge for him right now. He's in the lead. I think, he's in the lead in terms of floors, and that he might have a kill with that. I'm not exactly sure what he all has, but when you take an hour and a half to open so many chests, there's a decent chance that he has what he needs now to kill the jelly. So finding that is massive.
Yeah, Hab is pretty screwed here. And today, not only will the winner of the round move on, but I believe every round has a wild card, right?
Not every round, but
every heat.
Well, you mean everyone from a round has a chance to go to wild card? Yeah.
Every group.
Yeah.
But Driz isn't out of this yet. Okay,
yeah, so basically, the winner of this goes on to the finals, and then second place goes on to the wild cards, where the winner of the wild cards gets the 5th slot in the finals.
There's another Decker Blade for Ellie, but like we said, he'd have to be world record here.
I believe in him. Well, he didn't take Fumi, so. And,
I'm trying to remember also
Hob for dying to ninjas.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember also what it is exactly Driz has for the jelly. I know he's got Ice Ring plus Ice Valk, and I believe he still has Trick Ring. So that's helpful, but yeah, if he doesn't have his big fractionals already, he's going to need them. Especially since we know both Mike, and Travik do have their Decker Blades.
Yeah, Mike on 83 now. Like we said, once you make it to 88, the only enemies left in the cave natively are the metallic dragons, copper, silver, and gold, and then dark summoners, both of which can be scary, but they're generally easy to manipulate around and not have to fight unless you just get terrible room luck. So,
and are we about to have a forced Archie with Mike here? Hopefully for him, it's Ice Rogues.
Yeah, it's looking forced.
And we'll also get a chance to see if his Artie plus Deadly is faster than an Archfiend, if there's an Archfiend in the party here.
He's looking right now, agility 139.
Ooh, so he's
Archfiends
way
have 166 agility, so yeah, he is in no way, he can't even hope for a speed tie at this point. His whole party is slower.
So we're about to see some super high.
I need some bless RNGs in the chat. Bless RNGs in the chat from Mike right now. This is nasty.
This is the nightmare.
This is all bad. Both of them will attack twice. They will attack before anyone in his party. They do massive damage on basically everything that they do, unless they cast Mirror. Thunder is the worst, which he's getting right now, party-wide, and it's their most damage. Ooh, Decker has
Does he have
a
Bolt
Bolt
Shield
Shield, though?
Yeah, that's from the beginning of the run, I think. And we talked about that. We kind of foreshadowed that. Of course, that's
And
not going to solve his problems here. And low.
okay, so the deadly hit, he should run. Yeah, yeah, there he goes. He's running.
Preemptive miracle.
Yeah, he has a chance here. Nice. Okay, and I'm pretty sure he can revive everyone. Beautiful.
So you just saw some pro super strats there. Nice
Yeah,
display
that was
by Mike.
very well played by Mike right there.
God tier.
Yeah, and like we said earlier, the bolt shield, it is one of the highest defense items in the game, and it gives you resistance to thunder, lightning damage, whatever you want to call it. And that's the Archfiend's most damaging move, so he is absolutely happy he has that bolt shield right now.
Boom, and his deadlies are hitting. Oh, look at Travik. Dragon Con plus Summoners.
So we just mentioned once you get to 88, you're pretty much in the clear, unless you get a really bad room, and he got a really bad room. So
Travik's trying to prove us wrong. Yeah. And again, his time savings at the beginning is helping him out big time here. He's got the time he needs to hopefully navigate.
So we mentioned that there's 3 types of metallic dragons: bronze, silver, and gold. Bronze, you can kind of prepare around, and they're not usually too scary. Silvers and golds, though, silvers attack twice, golds attack 3 times, and each of them has a move that can almost one-shot your entire party. So over 3 moves, there's a good chance that they're going to use one of those moves at least once.
So he backed off there, and that's going to be very tough.
Oh, wow.
Look at those movements.
Travik talks with the pro moves right there.
I thought it was a bad idea. He's proven me wrong. Everybody spread out like the Red Sea parting.
Big brain plays, exactly, Shadow. So, a little bit of luck was involved there in the dragon moving, but it worked out exactly how he wanted to. He has a decent path across most of the well, no, there's a lot of stuff in the way still.
Keep an eye out on those flashes, because those flashes are where those summoners are going to pop up.
He's going to really need these dragons to either be all coppers or at least cooperate with him.
So that
Double
was good.
silver's not good, and he's going for the fight.
Yeah, earlier he backed off of the gold plus. His deadly hits, that's what he wanted.
Ooh, the deadly mist on the second silver dragon. Let's hope he does not get a diamond dust. Dread and bravery. That's about as lucky as you can get. So he's
Yeah, I see silver dragons doing that a lot though.
It's true.
It's true. I don't know, and we would have seen there if Artie back row would have even been killed by a single diamond dust.
At his level, probably not actually.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that room is. He's still got a long way to go through this treasure room. Deadly rod for Mike. I don't think he needs that. He already has one.
The summoners are almost more scary than the dragons here.
They're
popping up everywhere.
The summoners, the way they teleport, are definitely keeping him from getting through this room cleanly because they're just getting in the way constantly.
At some point, he might have to YOLO because the more he backs off, it seems like the more he gets stuck. But once again, they kind of all back off on the same turn.
So, if you look at Mike right now, he is just running into the wall, hoping that the 2 dragons in that hallway get out of his way, and they are not being very cooperative. He still has a decent amount of time to get through, but this is going to cost him some time for sure.
And so one of the issues here is when you back out of fights with dragons, they start getting off step from each other. It's pretty helpful sometimes when everybody's in step, they're moving at the same time, you can kind of judge how things are going to go. But when they start moving off step, it gets crazy.
Yeah, dragons are generally easy to manipulate because they move every 3rd move, so you can plan pretty easily, but when you engage them, they lose a turn and they're not set with the other ones, and that's what happened to him.
So it looks now like he has a clear path to the stairs, but we'll see what the summoners do with their teleports.
last place, no chance to go.
Trist is catching up pretty nicely. He's on
Yeah.
Genie's. Means he's at least in the 70s. So he is definitely not out of this yet either.
Oh, yep. Fortunately, the summoner was turned the perfect way so that even though he rammed into him, it was a surprise attack in his favor. He got it. He got it.
Okay, so everybody's gonna need to get their calculators out pretty soon because Traffic has 3 floors to go before he's at the final boss of the Ancient Cave. And he has to do 9,980 damage in 3 turns, or else the jelly will run away and he will not kill the jelly. So get ready to start counting damage. Looks like Mike's still searching for something. Maybe he's just playing it safe at this point, but he might not have a kill yet. And when you don't have a kill, when you don't have the items required to kill the jelly this late, it starts getting kind of frustrating because you know you only have so many floors of chests left. So I'm assuming he's still opening everything he can because he does not have what he needs yet.
Well, one thing we're not short of is some real tough situations, and that's what makes some of these interesting and exciting. And so even though not everybody's in it at the end here, we're getting some awesome stuff, and these guys are doing a great job.
Trist is fighting double Archfiends, and he does not have a bolt shield as far as I know, but he does have a dark mirror, right? Or no?
He does. That's really not going to help him too much unless it were uncursed and protecting him against destroy.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Cursed, it will help him, I think, against their physical attacks. Maybe I can't remember what their physical attacks elemental is, but this looks like bad news.
That destroy hits Decker, which it does not. He might have a chance to get out of here.
He does have a deadly. Okay, I didn't know he had a deadly. That's good.
Mike's going for the feed on his capsule monster, try and get it to max form right now. Okay, here we go. Stronger on the Archfiend, and Drist lives. Amazing.
Super strats. So there is a bonus. We have to keep an eye on now on some jelly kill bonuses. There is a bonus for if you save 15 minutes. So if you beat the jelly in 145 or less, that's not going to happen here today. But still in play for both Mike and Travik is a sub 2-hour jelly kill. The jelly has to die before the 200 mark. So yeah, he's going to get the bonus for the Charm Fruit and for Master Forming. So that's like a double bonus in a way.
Sure is. If you guys were ever wondering what a Blaze M form looks like, Mike is about to show you right now. It is a phoenix or something.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's
Squawker.
It's not that great of a capsule monster, to be honest, but
ooh,
damage.
Trav trying to do status effects against metallics. Metallics cannot be affected by any status effects except instant death.
His deadly missed, and then he got hit with Diamond Dust. Oh boy. He might be able to survive one Diamond Dust into a Bravery.
That full IP. IP build strats.
Yeah,
so you might be wondering, Copper Dragons can be affected by status effects, and from what I understand, that's actually a glitch. They should not be, but that's something that works in the favor of speedrunners. Just remember, silvers and golds, no.
That's what we were saying, Artemis, is that Travik didn't realize that the Silver Dragon was immune to the status ball that he used. It didn't really cost him anything because the character that used it wasn't doing anything anyway, but yeah, the silver and golds cannot be affected by sleep, paralysis, any of that stuff. So
yeah, but we're not in this to win. in it to show how awesome we are. And so far, Mike, cream of the crop. We'll see what he does.
Travis, enough money for the 7 whatever people are saying. I didn't look at his gold.
Yeah, me neither.
And yep, he has at least that much money. Wow. So there's some more points for him.
That's amazing. That can be a hard one to get to, but then again, that served him well, and being able to go fast early on, not something you're able to do every time, but he used it to his advantage.
A lot of the later enemies that drop a lot of gold. Yeah. So he is on the final floor before the boss now.
Yep.
I don't know if he's still looking for anything in particular, but here we go.
So I didn't see why Mike is fighting these. I don't know if they're in his way or if he's also going for the gold incentive.
I'm not sure, but I just realized he has a deadly sword on Maxim. He does have 2 curse lifters, actually, so maybe he's just going to use the IP if he doesn't.
Yeah, and if he's keeping an eye on the score sheet, he might be going for the gold incentive. Yeah, and he may not know Drizz's situation. If he sees the score sheet and sees that Drizz is ahead of him, he may not realize what a situation Drizz is in.
It looks like Travik's going through his final equips for the jelly fight. Like I said earlier, get out your calculators. If you're watching, it is required that you post the amount of damage done after each turn into the chat. So get ready to do that. With that goes his chances of getting to the jelly, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But what I'm looking at, if Mike were to die right now, it is possible that Drizzt comes in second place and goes to the wild card. So,
and I think it does look like Mike is going for the gold incentive here. He's got time.
Going for something, maybe IP, maybe experience.
Yeah.
Gold.
And he just needs to keep an eye also on his timer for making sure he has enough time left to do the kill before 2 hours bonus. Of course, the gold one is worth more bonus, so he doesn't necessarily have to do both or choose.
Does Trevor not have IP? He must not have full IP or something. Because it doesn't look like he has to fight these guys, but he's trying to. Full due to silver, okay. Yeah, he has full IP. So I'm not exactly sure what he's doing. Maybe just trying to get some safety levels for some tiny little bits of extra damage to guarantee his kill. Maybe farming gold eye, that's true too.
Yeah. Alright, so we're closing in on 12 minutes remaining.
Yeah, Travis already has enough gold for the gold incentive, so the only things he could be looking for at this point are experience or getting a gold eye off of a gold dragon if he doesn't already have that, which I don't think he does.
You may have noticed there that Gusto did not get damaged by that Cinder Blast. That wasn't because he's protected against it. In fact, I think he's weak to it. But when on the rare occasion your capsule monster is faster than the enemy, they can actually dodge the attack.
Well, as far as I know, it's only Gusto that has the dodge, isn't it?
Darby does as well.
Oh, okay.
Another reason why he's better than Fumi.
Fumi doesn't need to dodge because he's just one shot. That's all I gotta say.
His bubbles just absorb all attacks.
So, whatever Trav was doing with trying to farm these dragons, he's gotten the dragons in his way now going back out to the stairs. So this could cost him some time. Yeah, meanwhile, he's farming IP. Or no, he has full IP as well.
Yep, full enough. And we know both of them have Decker Blades. We've covered that. I'm wondering if any of them are concerned they don't have enough total damage.
There is also the possibility that they are trying to eke out every bit of damage to go for a 2-turner, but I think it's unlikely, but it is possible. I'm pretty sure Mike has Deadly Rod, Deadly Sword, and Decker Blade, all, and he can uncurse both the deadlies. So, I mean, theoretically, he does have a chance at a 2-turner if he has something good for whoever his fourth party member is. I'm assuming Seelan.
What is Mike doing exactly? He's in a weird position here where...
He just made a misstep and has to run from Dark Summoners. They are really fast, attack twice, and attack your whole party almost every time for a decent amount of damage. So you're going to watch him get withered down. Hopefully no one dies.
Yeah, and Summoners are weird. There's only certain places, I don't know how to explain it. Maybe if is RC around? He could explain, but there's only certain places that Summoners can teleport to within a certain range. And
well, they
the
try
way
to
that...
teleport 2 miles away from you, basically, and then like just kind of hop over you back and forth.
So
but
the way that he was...
Yeah, go on.
The way that the Maxim sprite was positioned along with the chest, the summoner kept teleporting to the exact same spot. So they're saying, Chad is saying Trav doesn't have enough for the kill. Despite a Decker Blade, he doesn't actually have enough damage to go with it.
All bad. This might be the end of Mike's chances here. He is fighting the Dark Summoners again. And they just killed Guy and Artie, so they have no IP and cannot use their item abilities on the jelly unless he builds them back up. And that's going to take some time. It could potentially take all the time he has left.
Yeah.
So here's Travic. He's killing himself. He is killing himself. Yeah. That's
so the chat saying that he ran out of magic.
He has enough magic for some stuff left, but yeah. So here we go. Travic is self-destructing at the jelly. Mm-hmm. Basically, he has enough damage to kill the jelly.
Crazy. This is crazy. I thought we had like 2 or 3 jelly kills, and now it's looking like 0. And Driz technically is still in this thing.
Still has a chance at wildcard if Mike can't get to the jelly. In case of a tie, it is furthest floor reached, and if that's also a tie, then it's whoever got to the furthest floor faster. And since Mike got to a way further floor than Triz, if they tie in points, Mike will be the winner of that tiebreaker.
Does he not even have enough to kill himself? Is that what's going on with Travic? I mean, this is crazy.
This is the final turn, yeah. Oh no.
He got healed. We'll have to ask. I guess we did a terrible job as announcers, but I don't completely understand. He must not have had enough damage to go with the Decker Blade to kill the jelly. And ran out of magic? What?
Yeah, I don't understand. Did he must not have like AoE'd himself or something.
Well, I don't think he had the magic to do AoE spells.
Let's go is the text for the third round, right?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess we can't really talk a lot about the situation between Mike and Driz in case one of them's listening in. I'm not sure how to handle that one. But we'll see how it plays out here.
Oh, are we ready? That's right. Okay, no, he can probably kill himself here, no problem. I thought for a second that he was not going to be able to kill himself on the jelly.
Well, me too, yeah.
A travesty. honestly, to like get this far and then not do, but he's totally fine. He's got it.
Okay. So yeah, that second turn of the jelly or whatever it is replenished his magic, giving him the magic he needed to kill himself. I'm not even sure he realized that at the time. This is
So
just
what
a
the
crazy
jelly
situation.
saying right there, I am honored. Before you go here, take the ancient key. So for some reason, when you kill yourself on the jelly before it runs, it thinks you won and gives you the key anyway, as if you had defeated it. Some people think it's intentional. Some people think it is an oversight in the way that the events are triggered. But either way, it's hilarious to defeat the final boss of a very, very hard dungeon by just killing yourself.
So,
And he
Travik,
did it.
we've got 5 minutes. Can you give us any insight as to what was going on there at the end? Because we lost track a little bit. We didn't know if it was you didn't have enough damage to go with your Decker Blade, or because you didn't weren't able to replenish your magic. Was that an issue?
Artemis is saying the devs forgot to check whether you got killed. That's what I assumed it was. Basically, the flag for you losing is the jelly killing itself, and since you kill yourself before the jelly kills itself, technically that flag is like kind of never triggered. I guess is how I assume it's coded. So by just avoiding the runaway flag, you it counts as a win.
Yeah, there's a 2-hour time limit, Jello, and even though we talked a lot about how important the Decker Blade is, we never actually talked about the fact that a Decker Blade alone doesn't cut it. You still have to have accompanying things to go with it. And if he had Deadlies on with no Curse Lifter, if he didn't have 3 times weapons for like Maxim, he may have just known he didn't have a kit.
So less than 4 minutes left, and Mike has more than 5 floors to go. It looks like he's avoiding dragons, so I'm assuming he either has IP or just plans to kill himself, kind of like Travik did. Hopefully he has IP, because that means we could at least see hopefully one jelly kill here. But this dragon is not cooperating and letting him get down the stairs.
I think he actually missed an opportunity earlier.
Yeah, he's need to not get blocked by a horrible room here. His chances are pretty good of making it to the jelly floor before 2 hours, but it is not guaranteed.
No way, Reflect. Our runners have ice water in their veins. They are not affected by that.
So basically, at this point, all eyes are on Mike. And now that he is officially tied Drist in points, even if he dies right now, he will automatically be at least in the wild card round. So we'll see. If he can kill the jelly, he gets first. But if not, he's at least not out of the tournament yet. So let's see what happens. He's got 2 floors left in about 2 minutes. So yeah. Oh, and he walks straight into a dragon. Got lucky that it was 2 coppers and that they both only did single target attacks on his capsule monster. So that was very fortunate for him. And this is the final floor, and the stairs are there. He has made it. He can take as long as he wants now to set up for the jelly. Let's see if he has a kill. If he's going for it, Lizard Blow, and he can uncurse. Yeah, he's got. I'm pretty sure he has a kill. So get your calculators out. Calculate the damage that he does. We're looking for 9,980 damage after 3 turns at least. And I'm gonna need you guys to post the damage after each round in the chat if you have your calculator open, or if you're just good at math.
So thanks to our scorekeepers for helping us keep track of how things are going, and it's nice having a good job to Shadow or whoever did the layout here to get us the points below each stream. That's pretty cool.
Oh man, he got some good rolls there. He might be able to get a 2-turner right here.
What does he have for guide? Dragon Rush.
Lizard Blow. Yeah, Lizard Blow, which is an amazing attack. Let's see what we have.
Devastation? Yep, that was right. Oh. Birdie Boy didn't help out.
Ooh, I don't think that's a 2-turner. Nope. Either way, he has this in the bag, so we at least get to see a kill here, and this kill puts Mike in first place. So he will be the winner of our Fatal Blowout inaugural round. Not inaugural, but you know what I mean. First round.
And it's going to be very interesting if anybody wants to join us later on today in Discord and get maybe some feedback from Mike about what was going on there with these summoners. It'll be super fun to hear. Travik had to take off, as you can see, and be fun to hear also what was happening at the end. Great job by our runners. Super entertaining, crazy rooms and situations.
I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
Shadow. So did you stop that timer when the jelly died, or just when it hit 2 hours?
When it hit 2 hours. It was after 2 hours.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because I knew there was a little bit of delay if he killed it at 2001. That
Yep.
actually would have been so.
But
either way.
Go ahead.
Oh, that's it. Either way.
Okay, all right. Well, congratulations to Mike34 for taking that round. Great race. Kind of some crazy stuff going on there. Some stuff I've never seen happening, which is pretty cool. We do actually have one more race coming up. Oh, thank you so much. Sorry, music's kind of loud. Well, deal with it. Hold on one second. Let's see here. All right, so thank you to Dank Meats and Squealer for the commentary. You guys did an awesome job. We do have one more race coming up, so we are going to take just a quick break while we set up for the next race. Hopefully no longer than 5-10 minutes. And we will be back with the second round of the Fatal Blowout tournament. So stick around, guys. We'll be back as soon as we can.